Arena is something very few people like to... It's very unlikely that both players are happy to play on Arena. Invade is something people like to veto. It's not a very strong map pool in terms of variety right now. Obviously the maps have a lot of variety in them, but in terms of what we see in the best of 5, best of 3 series, it's pretty much always the same. As we jump on into this, just up right hand side in this Millennium Showdown in the round of 8 of today's IEM qualifier is going to be our blue Terran player. It is Dayshi. And down to the lower left hand side, our red Protoss player from Millennium is going to be Lilbow. So we enter this TVP and have a little bit of a look to see how things are going to be going, what things are going to be getting up to. And we're going to see it's going to be Raxgas opening here from Dayshi, so looking to be fairly standard to start this game. Not really too much of a surprise coming in to begin with, just going to be an expansion in the very near future. So expansion going to be coming in very soon. I'm just going to be seeing, well, Probe just going to move away over to the left hand side, just going to be coming in and just popping down a Nexus here in a few moments. So Probe going to pop down a Nexus, and we're just going to see this Probe backing away. So a Nexus comes down, and we're just going to be seeing one of our SCV on the way out and build the CC. So nothing really too crazy here on Dusk Towers to really get things started. Dayshi, once again, I mean, he did this last time as well against Hearthstone, where he didn't actually go for the Reaper expand, he just went for a single Marine into a pretty fast factory, followed up by a reactor. So it looks as though we might very well once again, sort of, we might see sort of the same again. So we'll see here very soon what exactly the plan may be. And again, I imagine it'll just be kind of very similar. And I can't actually remember what Dayshi did last time around. I feel as though he just went into like a Liberator or so, very like kind of very standard without really too much of a surprise in it or anything. So I kind of feel as though it was something like that. I'm not sure though. We'll have to just sort of see here in the next few minutes. It was pretty standard for the most part, I think, though. It was the map he lost against Hearthstone. So let's see how he plays out. Let's see how Lilbow plays as well, because I mean, different ways of the Protoss playing can definitely affect the way in which the Terran plays too, what sort of composition they go for, how early they can start massing up those Liberators, for example. So there's a lot of things to kind of keep in mind from the Protoss' point of view as well. As you're going to see this SCV being found. Dayshi loves to try and hide it in this little corner, but obviously Lilbow knows about that, and so it's just going to be just kind of moving away. So yeah, I mean, nothing really too surprising, nothing too crazy at the very start of this. Starport is just over halfway done. You're going to see that Twilight Lance and the Robo coming up for Lilbow now as well. So Robo and Twilight coming down. And yeah, Robo Twilight coming down. Going to see the natural expansion from Dayshi also just sort of sat here and just sort of begin to build up. And we're just going to be seeing the Widowmine burrowing for Dayshi off to the side. So yeah, it was something like this again when he played against Hearthstone on Dusk Towers. I think just sort of the Widowmine drop to begin with into 3CC behind it. So yeah, we'll see how this is going to go. Mothership Core starts up here from our Protoss player, so Lilbow going to start up that Mothership Core. Twilight and the Robo finish. Very standard playstyle from Lilbow, you know, the Robo, the Twilight. It's pretty much the go-to. I mean, you either go Stargate, that's how Hearthstone opened with the double Oracle early in the game. But for Lilbow, he's actually going to go Robo Twilight. And, well, one thing you can definitely maybe run into a bit of trouble with is kind of maybe Liberators and kind of positions where they're not easily reached and so on by pylons and stuff. So it's one of these maps where there is a couple of those locations that can be abused, and we'll see if that's something Dayshi tries to do here in this game. It's kind of one of the reasons I kind of felt that Hearthstone was opening with the Stargate on Dusk Towers because of. So we'll see here very soon, as we're just going to be seeing the units begin to unload. We're going to see a couple of Widowmines going to burrow. I mean, there's plenty of Stalkers over here from Lilbow who has to split away. He's going to lose one of these Stalkers already to a Widowmine. And Observer coming forward as well. Widowmine getting a Zealot kill as well. So he picks off one of the Widowmines. He'll get the other one in a moment too. Force the lift on his opponent's units on the Marines. He loses the probe on the natural, but hey, he gets the Nexus down at least. So that's something. And more Stalkers just going into the natural, knowing that that's a potential kind of lift up and drop location from Dayshi. It's exactly what Dayshi's going to do. So good prediction by Lilbow, already kind of countering this just by moving those Stalkers into a pretty good position. So Stalker's going to be continuing to fight here. Marines are going to be starting to go down. Another Stalker warps in, and yeah, lots of these Marines are going to end up falling here, as we do see a Liberator just sieging up in the back of the main. And again, these are these sort of awkward, annoying positions to try and kind of connect, and we'll see how well Lilbow is able to clear this up. Mothership Core isn't nearby just yet. I think the Liberator's kind of unsieging because he doesn't want to. He doesn't, if the probes were already pulled away, he didn't want to kind of just lose the Liberator because he's kind of sieging up probes which aren't in any kind of, aren't actually going to be mining for a while. So, just going to be seeing the Liberator just coming across towards the upper right hand side. So Dayshi kind of pulling back here. And didn't really do any damage, but forces some lost some mining time, and it does all add up over time. So yeah, let's see, as we're going to see the starport dropping down onto the reactor. The factory going to move into position as well, and the CC just going to be coming down here from Dayshi. So CC coming down for Dayshi, and we're going to see the third CC just about to come up, and again we're just going to see the Liberator sort of sieging up at the front. So Liberator sieging up at the front. Stim, combat shields, very standard play so far, +1/+1 from Lilbow. And we are, for the most part, seen Lilbow sort of do what Tarston was doing, which was sort of Blink, Stalker, Adept, Immortal sort of thing, although Tarston didn't really go for Immortals as much as he actually went in towards the Disruptors a little bit later on. So, Blink, Stalker, Disruptor was kind of Tarston's thing. Lilbow going to just go for what is kind of the more sort of, I mean, they're both sort of standard playstyles, but kind of the Blink, Stalker, Adept, Immortal is definitely a pretty common way of playing too. A couple of Stalkers going to warp in here. And again, there's +1/+1 upgrades just on the way in for Lilbow. So over time, he'll add on the Templar Archives, a few Archons, the Storm as well. Just going to a very standard sort of PvT composition. And obviously later into the game, we expect to see those Templars coming out as a way to counteract the Liberators, which are obviously going to be a pretty major point of the Terran's composition here over the next few minutes of the game. We already see a couple of them. Well, it's just the one right now, but I mean, he's actually going to make another round of Medivacs. I imagine after this next round of Medivacs, he might actually go in towards another couple of Liberators and just sort of keep on setting this up, as we're going to see this Bioforce just coming down towards the lower left-hand side of the map. Observer just coming over here, going to move through, and just going to sit above these Marines and Marauders as he looks to attack on in towards this bottom left-hand side of Scan. We're going to see it blinking forwards here, and well, if he gets rid of that Liberator nice and quickly, that'd help a lot, but he's not going to commit to it, so he'll let that Liberator get into position, a couple of force fields to push this army away. Blinks to the side now. There's a Immortal coming in. There's 4 overcharge available, but he's not quite close enough. Dayshi isn't quite close enough to the pylon to make it worth popping just yet. There's a Mothership Core going to go down, though. Lilbow putting that way too far forwards. As he needs to be careful still. If he pushes into that kind of army, that Liberator is going to get a lot of damage done. As Dayshi continue to trade here, targeting down sentry after sentry. Some very good trades for him. It's amazing how much power one single Liberator gives to this, and I mean, if Lilbow just had the kind of audacity to kind of come forwards, kill that Liberator early, he would have saved himself a lot of trouble. So, as soon as this goes down, boom, he's fighting this army. He doesn't really care anymore. Although he just used his blink, and now Dayshi will maybe try and unload in the main. No, he gets away to the side, so he obviously was going to lose his units if he tried to unload there. So, plays it safe, plays it smart, and does just back away. Some few units just going to back away. And we're going to see a single Marine just kind of pushing out onto the map now. This Observer from Lilbow obviously wants to try and just get some general information as to what is going on currently. We do see the couple of, well, an extra starport and a fusion core. So Dayshi getting ready for his late game here, which is going to be more Liberators and that Liberator range as well, just to mean that they can even basically makes them even harder to engage, more or less unengageable. Unless you've got the Tempest up, which is what Lilbow is beginning to transition into. The Fleet Beacon is about to finish, the second Stargate is about to finish, so he's getting set up into that here in the near future, as we're going to see. There's Sonic come forwards again. There's actually a Void Ray added on now, which is interesting. Going to set that ready to go already. This Wooderman goes down, no connection just yet. Void Ray could come along to the high ground and work away on these Liberators if he'd like to. Going to set just defensively though. I mean, he's got a 4th base to defend. It looks as though he will just sit back and defend that for now, so just going to be sitting back. We're going to see again these units for Dayshi just sort of pulling back with these Medivacs and a couple of Liberators just going along with them. Single Marine goes down. We're going to see a few more units from Dayshi just sort of collecting together here. So a few more units for Dayshi just collecting together, and they're going to join up and come towards the centres. You see a Marine just up on the high ground working his way through this assimilator. And yeah, just working his way through this assimilator. We're going to see this Medivac just coming in, just going to load on the low ground and just going to look to see what he can get up to. As we see the something going to be going down, the Void Ray going to pop his prismatic alignment and starts to get some damage done onto the Medivac there, but Medivac does fall. I mean, Dayshi puts himself into a very interesting position on this high ground. That's why we generally see against Terran players, people tend not to kind of take this 4th base, with the timing of the Tempest here from Lilbow, he's actually got a pretty good mechanism in order to kind of push this army away in order to retake that high ground and to protect that base without actually taking too many losses. And that's just going to be seeing the units just collected up together over here. So if units just collected up together, we're going to see Lilbow is just going to be setting up with the rest of this army too. A few more Tempests coming in together. We're going to see a couple of gateways on the way down. So a couple of extra gateways on the way down. We're going to see, again, Liberators, Bio, all joining up here as we're going to see a few other mines nearby as well. As we're going to see the 4th base from Dayshi going to land off to the right-hand side. So, going to see 4th base on moving to Plandries. I mean, both players still sort of setting up into their sort of mid-late games now. It's really close of this game where neither players, you know, we've not really seen too much aggression. We've seen a few skirmishes between both players. It's mostly been Dayshi out on the map. Lilbow, for the most part, has been very happy setting up in towards the Tempest fairly early into the game and getting ready to fight against the Terran late game. It's been Dayshi who's trying to get himself into positions to, you know, set himself up very well into a position where he can kind of fight here. As the Liberator is going to start sieging. He needs to be careful. There's 1 Liberator or 2 Liberators even before they finish sieging. Maybe just going a little bit too far ahead of the rest of the army. Voidray are going to come in to try and help as well. The Liberators are just in a position which isn't doing anything at all right now, you know. They're all the way back. They're going to come forwards here once again. I mean, they're going to start going down so quickly, though. These Tempests getting rid of them pretty swiftly. 2 of them do finally siege up. That's the first time we've really seen Liberators be useful at all in this fight, and that's probably why Dayshi is going to find himself being pushed away somewhat easily here by Lilbow. I mean, it looks as though Lilbow's barely even lost anything. I mean, definitely hasn't lost anything of importance here compared to Dayshi. He's just lost multiple Liberators. I mean, so many Liberators just out of position over here when the fight was over here, and then so many of the Liberators kind of coming forwards and just sieging up too far forwards, you know. They're sieging up so far forwards that they're just getting taken down immediately before they even finish sieging. So, it's not been ideal as you're going to see a Widowmine picking off single Stalker coming across the map. I'm just going to be seeing this army continue to push over here. So, a few Marines and Marauders are going to split up from Dayshi on his 3rd base. We'll see Lilbow just collecting together, getting ready to go. As you're going to see some Marines and Marauders coming in. Well, I mean, again, there's still a little bit of a run, but this little bit of a drop is definitely going to get something done. But does Dayshi have enough at home to deal with this rain army of Lilbow? That's got to be our question right now. As you see, these Adepts going to help to clean up with the Tempest. I mean, here we go. The Tempest right now is such high numbers that the Liberator is going to go down very quickly. And here comes the Bio moving forward. Is there enough Adepts here actually for Lilbow is maybe one of the main concerns to kind of really tank against this, but it looks as though it might not matter because there's just so much firepower for Lilbow in the ground army. He's just going to be able to push on through without too much issue at all in the end. Going to keep on pushing, going to take down a few more Marauders and so on. Force field on the ramp, and it looks as though Lilbow is going to pick off another couple of these racks. This 3rd CC as well. Going to go down. I mean, Lilbow in a position now where he's just pushed over, and Dayshi just has not had enough to hold this attack, so you know, Dayshi's little bit of a drop was getting a little bit of damage done, but does not make up for how much damage he's going to take here. And really all comes back, I still think, to that last engagement, the last major engagement on Lilbow's side of the map, where Lilbow just traded so well in comparison to Dayshi. And Dayshi says, back heck, as he taps on out. And again, the classic combo, just Towers, Frozen Temple, as 2 of the main maps in the best of 3. No real surprises as we have to the bottom right-hand side of the map in this Millennium team kill. Our blue Terran player, it is going to be Dayshi. And to the upper left, it's going to be our red Protoss player. It is going to be Lilbow. So entering this TVP, going to have a look to see how things are going, what is going to be happening here in the early stages. Just going to be looking to see what is going to go on in the next few moments of this, as we do see a probe just sort of coming down towards the lower right hand side of the map to scout early on from Lilbow. Now this is a map where Dayshi is again going to maybe kind of proxy racks, maybe proxy Reaper. This time around he's not going to do any of that. He's actually going into a pretty standard opening himself, so it may just be a Reaper expand and see where it's going to go. I mean, obviously that's something which Lilbow right now is just looking to kind of pick up on, just trying to identify what exactly is going on, what is happening. Just try and figure that out here in the early stages. So Lilbow is coming across, having a little bit of a scout around. As we're going to see that probe just continuing to just move around here and just come back in and have another look to see what's going on. Sees that SCV coming down to the low ground and is going to be popping down an expansion in a couple of moments. So expand coming down from Dayshi and for Lilbow. And we're off to, once again, a very standard startup in the TVP. We've seen, the TVPs today have been very good so far. I mean, we've been seeing some we've been seeing some really fun games. really fun game so far today. So, yeah, see how this is going to go. I want to kind of, again, just check on how the GSL cross final things is going. So I'm going to be rude now. I'm going to check on my phone. Interesting. Isn't it such a shame when we have to cast over such good events? A couple of racks coming down here from Dayshi. We're going to see the reactor coming up on this racks at the front. CC on the natural is on the way down as well. So CC coming down on the natural. Again, just as we mentioned before, but it really is interesting that we're seeing a kind of big racks follow up. It's something that we don't see all too often anymore. So big racks follow up out of Dayshi, and he's just going to go into, I imagine here, kind of you know, stim pack and so on very quickly, very early in the game, and just sort of play a very standard sort of bio-based opening. I kind of like it. It's the sort of playstyle that I'd like to play because it's just simple. It's not messing around with any factory units for too long. It's very, very simple altogether, really. So see how this is gonna go. You see the concussive shell starts up on the tech lab. We're gonna see another tech lab being built. So Dayshi, for the most part, is actually going to go concussive shell, so it's actually really interesting. So maybe you're just going to go for a bit of an aggressive timing very early in the game, put on some pressure. It's actually, there's a build like this in Heart of the Swarm where you kind of expanded fast and you went into concussive shells push very early with some marauders, and it fell out of fashion a lot because I think the pylon overcharge just made it so much better. Yeah, you know, the pro is so much better at kind of defending against this. But you know, if Dayshi kind of finds Lilbow without a pylon on the low ground, he has a lot of potential to get damage done here. So we'll see him probably move it across with the next marauder or two. Popping out, he starts up stim pack. Yeah, I mean, he's going to have 3 more. It has to be a push across the map with this. I mean, he's got concussive shells to catch any units out of position. And if he catches these 2 stalkers, again, Lilbow hasn't got a pylon on his natural yet, so he's really playing this a little bit risky right here. As we're going to be seeing the couple of stalkers just sort of setting up and just waiting to go. As these marauders and marines just going to be coming over in towards that base very, very shortly. So, here we go, just going to be moving on up, and you're going to see the Marauders catching both of these Stalkers here, actually. Going to get one, the other, and he's going to keep on hitting them, so he's going to keep on taking both of them down. Nice control by Dayshi. Oh, he's going to let one of them get away. There is a pylon now on the low ground. When Overcharge going to pop, he's going to fight against it, though. He feels as though he's got enough with only one Stalker fighting 2, and he actually does. Probes having to be pulled off the line. There's another pylon on the way. Probes are starting to fall, though. Dayshi getting some good damage done here early. Never throw an Overcharge here, surely now. And you can see that's what Dayshi is just trying to force out. I mean, even if he just forces it out, it's some energy that's now no longer there on the mothership core. And that's a very big positive for him. So we're going to see this Bioforce pulling back a little bit here. And, well, Dayshi just, again, setting it back at home. Stim, combat shields on the way. We're going to see his starport is on the way up as well. And a few more gateways on the way down. So a few extra gates on the way down. Blink is on the way up. The Warp Prism is on the way out for Lilbow as well. So a lot of stuff just on the way here right now, and we're going to be looking to see Lilbow maybe just getting super aggressive with this kind of blink follow-up. I mean, this is a lot of gateways which he's building. I mean, 6 gate blink, the Warp Prism to kind of back him up. It's going to be very interesting to see if Dayshi can hold on. I mean, he lost a fair few units here early, but he's got 3 racks of production, so he's going to have stim, he's going to have combat shields, he's going to have a lot of bio forces. Can Lilbow really just overwhelm his opponent with pure Stalker? When there's so much bio coming up early, I feel this sort of attack from Lilbow works very well when there's kind of a factory-based opening, and the bio play from the town player takes a while to come into play. But against just kind of pure bio from the start, it kind of just feels as though Dayshi should have more than enough here. His unit's just going to collect up together. You're going to see the Warp Prism going into warp-in mode, and going to warp in a few more Stalkers. Pushing forwards here, these Stalkers are looking to pick off a Marauder, doesn't quite get it. And you're going to see the mothership core, the Warp Prism going to get targeted down, and so Lilbow is going to find himself in a really tough position where he's going to start blinking away, but, I mean, Dayshi just takes a great fight. Taking down the mothership, the Warp Prism really allows him to just continue fighting against this as well. I mean, really stops any further reinforcements. Another Warp Prism build, and I guess Lilbow will warp in at home here in a moment or two, and maybe reinforce across the map and try and attack it once again. He doesn't have anything else on the way up. He has no follow-up from this still, so, I mean, overall, he did trade somewhat okay with the Bioforce, but, I mean, it's still not really enough if he's going to want to continue attacking. As we're going to see this Observer just kind of jumping out of view of the scan. And we're going to see Lilbow going into the Dark Shrine. Dayshi says FML. For what reason? I'm not too sure. I actually got no idea. He's got a hidden base at the top right side of the map as well, so that's something which Dayshi begin to set up here, as we're going to see him, maybe it was just because the Observer just got away. As we're going to see, oh my god, huge blink, he picks off a full medevac. Well, that's a sort of switch in momentum. which Lilbow needs right now. And actually, I mean, all of a sudden, Dayshi doesn't have anything at home. 2 more medevacs go down. I mean, this is just completely game-changing, right? This, like, last couple of moments, picking off that medevac is really crazy. And we're going to see what person coming in to reinforce this is surely just going to be Lilbow. I mean, from that, I mean, a full medevac going down, that's crazy. As we're going to see the Whoopers, and he wants to try and warp in, but he's too scared to kind of go into warping mode with the Marines nearby in case it targets it down. But as them Stalkers coming in, another medevac will fall. Big blink forwards, a few more bio units being pushed back. There is +1 for Dayshi, but there's just not the number of units he needs to deal with this amount of Stalkers. He's lost a lot of SCVs in the last few moments as well. Things back up to the top side, filling up a few more units, and well, here comes this little bit of extra bio to try and help out, but Lilbow really does look as though he just has a bit too much right now as these Stalkers come in. They're going to continue to work their way through the CC perhaps, and they'll just continue to fight this bio up on the high ground as well. Just continuing to trade, continue to see what else he can get done. A few more SCVs continue to go down. These Marauders, there's just not enough of them. Wow, Dayshi, it took us such a good fight to begin with, he really did, but that double drop, just not enough, and, you know, just getting caught really hurts him, and now DT is coming in as well, and, well, I mean, this is basically it, right? A couple of observers on the high ground, so you can fight on the high ground too. DT is coming in, going to start forcing scans, a time warp as well, and we'll see Lilbow just move up this ramp and just start shutting down the production. There's no way Dayshi can realistically stabilize from this sort of a position. And we'll see Lilbow just playing it safe, warping in a few more DTs, a few more Stalkers, still just letting them get to work over here, as we see his last few units just coming forward. His mothership core about to fall down, but it doesn't really matter when there's so many Stalkers left over. There's observers still for high ground vision as well. Scan comes in, the DT is starting to fall, but there's just not enough units for Dayshi to kill off the DTs even. And Lilbow is going to take another game where he is once again kind of behind, I think, initially.